Ciao everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Eleonora, I'm a registered migration agent in Perth, Western Australia, and the agency I manage is Green Wings Migration. Today in this video I would like to talk to you about DAMA options, especially for truck drivers. If you haven't watched other videos before, I invite you to do that because we analyze DAMA programs in many details, and we also discuss the opportunities that exist under DAMA programs for different occupations. We spoke about cafe restaurant managers before, we spoke about waiters and baristas before, and today is the turn of truck drivers. Truck drivers are clearly super important in Australia. The great amount of goodies that gets into Australia are then transported via land using trucks in order to reach the shelves of our supermarket, shops and everything. So it's super important that as many skilled truck drivers as possible come to the country. Obviously, depending where you come from, there would be some things that you need to do in terms of your license. You might come from a country where the license can be just simply recognized and, let's say, converted to the Australian standards, or maybe you can be requested to do additional training and additional tests. But if you have started your career and you have experience as a truck driver, I am pretty sure that it won't be hard for you to find a job in Australia. Now, up until a few months ago, it was very hard, despite the need, to find a visa solution for you if you were a truck driver. The reason being, in Australia, all occupations are organized on certain lists. And normally, in order to get a visa, your occupation must be featured on the specific list that's connected to that visa option. And truck drivers, surprisingly, they weren't on any of the lists. I believe that the first program that started to include truck drivers was the Northern Territory DAMA, which I think is a program that's been around for about 10 years now and has been renewed every now and then in order to meet current market expectations. Following the example of the Northern Territory, basically every other state started to introduce DAMA programs. What are the DAMAs? DAMA stands for Designated Area Migration Agreement. So it's a specific agreement that is created between a certain local area, normally a regional area, and the Department of Home Affairs. The local representative of that area, that's called DAR, Designated Area Representative, has identified, thanks to reports and statistics about the industry needs, etc., a shortage of certain occupations. So they've taken all this info, they have presented them to the Department of Home Affairs, and together they created the framework for local businesses to be able to sponsor through the DAMA agreement the different occupations. They did it for truck drivers, they did it for aged carers, they did it for waiters, they did it for basically every occupation that is needed and is not featured on the normal skill occupation list, but they also did it for occupations that would normally be on a skill list, on a, let's say, normal sponsorable list, but for some reason they also wanted to have it on their specific DAMA list. Why? Because thanks to the DAMAs, people can get a visa through concessions in many cases. There are mainly three concessions available: concession for age, concession for English, and concession for salary. So under normal circumstances, a visa for permanent residency, can only be obtained if you are 45 years old or below. But in the DAMA context, that can go up to 55 years old. The second concession is about English. Again, in normal circumstances, generally speaking, you would need to achieve vocational English level or competent English level. In the DAMA settings, this can be lower, so making it a little bit easier for you to obtain the visa. And finally, the salary concession. So normally in the sponsorship framework, employers are bound to pay a certain minimum amount of money to their skilled employees that they come in through sponsorship. If you get your visa in a DAMA context, the employer might be able to access a concession that allows them to reduce the minimum amount of salary that they need to offer you. Bear in mind that this is not applicable at all kind of DAMAs, for all kind of occupations, for every kind of visa that's available. It really depends on the program. It really depends on the negotiation that occur between the DAR and the Department of Home Affairs. But in general terms, that's what distinguishes a DAMA agreement to a normal sponsorship agreement. And the fourth thing that is very noticeable is the possibility to apply for permanent residency basically always. So sometimes you obtain a sponsorship, and then again, because you become too old or for other reasons, you cannot achieve your permanent residency stage. Through the DAMA agreement, this normally wouldn't happen. So if you do get a sponsorship visa in the DAMA sphere, you are most likely going to also get your permanent residency. So if we consider all this and we bring it back to our truck drivers' consideration, you definitely understand how important the DAMA programs are. As I said, truck drivers are very much in need in Australia. We have nowhere near enough truck drivers available in the country, so bringing them in from overseas is definitely a must. And this is an occupation that can be done for quite a while. It's not necessarily something only young people do. So maybe you are, 47, 48, 51, 52, you're a great truck driver, you would like to come to Australia, but you cannot do it in normal programs, in normal circumstances. Well, the DAMA offers the option for you. And normally, we have to be honest, when we are a little bit oldish, it's difficult to learn English. So the fact that you could get a visa at a lower level, it's definitely a bonus as well. I checked where the DAMA sponsor truck drivers in Australia. So we will post you the link that takes you to an article that we have written on our blog. In that article, you will see all the details, all the qualification criteria, experience criteria, skills assessment criteria that apply for all DAMA programs. So I don't want to waste your time now and just read them to you and list them for you. I just invite you to go and check the link because I think that's much more efficient. What I noticed though while I was going through this research is that there is a little kind of connection between all the different programs, despite being all different one to another. So for example, if we consider Western Australia, there are 4 different DAMAs, and each one of them provides different kind of qualification and ANZSCO requirement and experience requirement for the same position, for the same occupation, despite the fact that we are talking about the same state. So there are variances, there are differences between these programs. But one thing that puts them all in common is you need to have a qualification that's normally a Certificate 2, corresponding on the AQF system, so the Australian Qualification Framework. Most likely than not, you can substitute this qualification with at least 1 year of work experience. In order to get a 482 visa, which is the most basic visa option, sponsor visa option, you need at least 1 year of work experience. But if you have at least 2 years of work experience, you can also access visa 494. And in basically all cases, you are actually able to double dip on this experience. So you can use the same year for the qualification aspect and for the experience aspect. Just to give you a little bit of an understanding of the 2 different visas, a 482 is a temporary residency sponsorship. It's granted for 4 years, and it normally leads you to permanent residency after holding the visa for 2 years, provided that your employer nominates you again, obviously this time for a permanent residency option. The 494 sponsorship gives you a little bit more freedom because you only need to be sponsored by the employer once. You get the visa for 5 years, and after holding it for 3 years, you can apply for your permanent residency independently from the employer. So there are pros and cons in both options. I wouldn't dare to say that one is better than the other, but it's definitely worth considering both options apply to your circumstances in order to decide which one fits your requirements best and the business necessities best as well. Other than that, this is all for DAMA truck drivers. Please feel free to go on the blog, read the article, ask all the questions that you might come across with while you read it. Obviously, as usual, you find our details down below in the comment section, and feel free to reach out. We'll be super happy to help you and maybe organize a meeting with you so we can assess your likelihood to be able to obtain a sponsorship through the DAMA agreement. Thank you so much for listening to me. Don't forget to like us, follow us. The more you follow us, again, the more you will see our videos. And if you want to reach out, don't be afraid, don't be ashamed, send an email, info@greenwingsmigration.com.au, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, basically everywhere. We are here for you. Thank you.